Hello everyone and welcome back to a series of my favorite 3 licks of a solo I transcribed. And today we're talking about I Love You, which is a Cole Porter song, but the Django solo I think is one of the most underrated solos in terms of popularity. If you think of Minor Swing or I'll See You in My Dreams, of course, beautiful, beautiful solos. But even here you really have that ability that Django has to really almost create a theme out of a solo, and really, you can sing it and it's so melodic and as well as harmonically interesting. And all of the ideas I'm going to take today, the 3 ideas in other words I'm going to take today, all come in the second chorus. I mean, this is one of the solos that I would suggest either way to learn, top to bottom. I mean, every phrase, every angle is really beautiful. But for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to again pick 3, and those 3 are going to come from the second chorus. And in fact, the very first one is the absolute very first phrase of the second chorus. And so again, the tune is in F major, and so this phrase really develops as the first part of the song is all F major, right? So let's just jump right into it. So it starts right here at the 10th fret. And so all of this happens over F major, and it's really interesting to see how Django uses, relatively advanced harmonic concepts to break up the so-called monotony of a one chord, of a key chord. And so the first part of the phrase is really basically off of the D minor pentatonic, which is the relative minor of F major. In fact, here it is. Very simple, very basic. Then the second phrase of this lick or of this idea happens right here, starting out at the 9th fret on this B, and this is all basically it's all it's essentially all F diminished. It's all F diminished, and this is because Django actually quite often used to use or break up again the monotony of a major with its diminished. So it would be F diminished. But that last note is interesting because these are all from the diminished, and then you have this last note right here, which in reality could be looked at the flat 9 of C7. So again, he's using the F diminished, finishing off that line with a C sharp, which is obviously the flat 9 of C, would be this chord right here. So again, from the top, and then the very last one is actually highlighting that same chord. So you have this chord is being outlined, I would say, right? With this B flat and this E, which is the 3rd of. So, and then of course you have that sharp 9, the sharp 9 relative to C, which are being highlighted. So, and then of course it kind of goes into a bit of somewhat of a bluesy conclusion, right? So approaching the resolution, in other words, the 5th of, which is a resolution kind of note. So again, nice and easy. about a major 7 idea. The string skip. So it's all really off of that F major. So that's that whole phrase again. Once again, nice and easy. So that's for your first idea. The second phrase is practically a 2/5 in F. And you can really adapt this phrase to any 2/5, right? Because it's basically G minor, C7 to 1, 2/5-1. So first of all, you have these pretty pull-offs, and again, you want to kind of develop enough strengths to really highlight each and every note of that passage. So, and then notice how I'm really picking out each of these notes. So even here. Here you can really work and practice on your rest stroke. To really get that bouncy sound out of the phrase, right? Nice and easy. So that's your second phrase, basic 2/5. And again, try all these phrases in different keys and in different tempos, you know, and really understand how to apply them to different tunes that way. Okay, here we go for the third idea. Django here really, again, uses the use of the tritone substitution in really creative and I find very, very interesting ways. And here it is. Here, again, the tune is basically going from F major to then F7 to B flat, which is the sort of new key or the relative key, which is the 4th of F, which is classic in these type of Christoph progressions, right? So as long as the tune is in F major, you can always imply the substitution of its 5th degree, which is C. So C7 can always be used to break up, and you can really play, you know, as the tune is on F7, you can really jump between C7 and F major, C7 and F major, both on chords and or on phrasing and choice of notes. And that's what Django does. As the tune stays in F right at the end of this, you know, the first first 4 bars, Django basically plays this, which is nothing but, if you really look at it, it's nothing but a tritone substitution of C with a F sharp 9 but flat 5 with this chord right here. Because you have your 9th right here relative to F sharp, and you have your flat 5 relative to F sharp in this phrase, landing back on F, right? So you have this chord basically being highlighted note for note. So it's a chord, but it's played as if it were an arpeggio, right? Note for note, isolated. Then the next phrase is basically the when the tune goes to F7, Django plays the scale, the Mixolydian scale. So for all those who think that gypsy jazz doesn't allow scales, it actually can, or, you know, Django does it. So, and here it is. So F7 again is the whole full scale mixolydian scale. And then at this point, again, we're using, instead of F7, we're using B7, which is the tritone sub of F7. So from a scale, B7 right there is your tritone and is your tritone sub, and you're basically highlighting this chord passing from the ninth. Right, so, and then right here you have the major of B flat. So again, F major with the substitution of C, going into F7 mixolydian scale, B7 implied, resolving in the new one, or the fourth degree, which is B flat. Okay, so those are the three phrases for I Love You. Make sure to check out the entire transcription. It's available on my website. And if you have any questions, of course, never hesitate. And I hope you enjoy this solo, one of the most beautiful ones, in my opinion. And we'll see you soon on another edition of my 3 favorite licks.